Welcome to part 2 of our 2-part episode of Travel and Wine. I'm Chris, and my better half is Shelly. Tonight we are heading out to a farm/winery/restaurant to share a unique experience. For us, it's date night, and our host is Darryl, along with his lovely wife Erinn, and the fantastic staff at Whispering Oaks Winery.
How goes it?
The entertainment, the artist, is Dale Strumbo.
I didn't know what you were coming at me with. With this big blue ball we're riding on, keep spinning round and round. Seems the years fly by faster than the speed of sound. And if I were a picture, you'd have to paint in a little gray. No, 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 no. 'Cause here's the truth. Well, I can still put a hammer.
26 acres of blueberry fields and an awesome winemaking apparatus. I've got to say that this is my first time for a blueberry wine, and it's pretty darn good.
Every day, and after a couple of years, she finally brought him to Ohio, and now the guy travels all over the world. He's out in Texas right now, and he lives right here in Leesburg, which is about 20 minutes from me. But he's out in Texas doing these massive murals.
Darryl was just explaining about a gentleman who painted his murals and a sort of rags to riches story that he is. I'll try to get a little more information on him later. I guess he is doing some massive ones in Texas right now.
Sorry. You guys aren't recording, are you?
We are right now. We're on the 360 over the camera.
So nobody's gonna know right now, so that's okay. All right, so we've got our sweet sampler. So the first one is our Wildly Mild, and that is our most popular. That is our #1 seller. Everybody seems to like that one. So you got your Sensation Sweet, would be like Moscato. Okay, and then you got your Chocolate Chocolate. That one has a light hue of chocolate, and that's also a very good seller. These two sell like the most.
Is this more like a dessert?
Yes. Some people say it's very chocolatey. I say it's not. That's why we do a tasting, because everybody has different tastes.
Our camera-shy server introduced us to one of what they call flights of wine, composed of 4 glasses of taste testing.
So these two can go either way. We have 2 samplers. We have a dry and our sweet, and you'll find these on both because you can go either way. Alrighty, I gave you your bread and butter, sour cream is for later, and I am going to get your soup and salad. I'll be right back. Okay?
We barely blinked and our soup and salad was at our table. Shelly liked the Cha-Cha chocolate wine. Shelly had the lobster bisque and I had the salad and balsamic. You're never too old to hold hands. No sooner did we finish, and our server brought out the main course. What amazing flavors! We did end up picking up several bottles to bring back to the RV, and of course, we chose the medallion served with new potatoes, veggies, and beans, all cooked over a wood-fired outdoor grill. It all had a delicious and hearty taste. Darryl graciously consented to a short interview on camera, and we were anxious to ask him a few questions about their establishment and any future plans they might have. Perhaps someday they'll even join Harvest Host. This would be a great destination for weary travelers. Number one, I'm curious about how you got started in the wine business.
It's a great question, Chris. I've been fascinated by wine all my life. Just always have. I think wine's amazing. My parents have a blueberry farm about 4 miles from here. They do about 600,000 pounds of blueberries a year. So, give or take 15 years ago, my parents and myself, we planted blueberries here. We planted 20 acres of blueberries on this property, produced about 200,000 pounds of blueberries. So he basically went on a search and found a guy named Brent Trella, who was an internationally known winemaker. He actually won, there was a 4-year competition in China where he actually moved from North Dakota to China, and he won this competition. And his big thing is fruit wines. So he came here to Whispering Oaks. At the time it wasn't called Whispering Oaks, but he came here and developed my wines, and we've won awards across the nation. We've gone out to California and we beat up on the great guys, which I'm very proud of. So anyways, long story short, when I'd come up to visit my parents and he was, they turned this into a winery, I would come in because I was fascinated by wine. So I would go into the wine room, a wine cellar, I'd help them make wine, I would just do the heavy lifting just for free because I was interested. Well, I spent a year working my regular job, which I was in financial services. I did my regular job, and then I would go to the grocery stores and I would go try and sell the wine. Just because I've been to so many wineries where I end up buying a case of wine and you bring it home and you open up the wine, you're like, man, why did I buy this? And it was because of the atmosphere. And this atmosphere here is really cool. But I knew I liked the wine, but I didn't know if the wine had broad appeal. So I spent a year literally going to the grocery store every couple nights and would just sell the wine, do samplings for people that didn't have the atmosphere and see if the wine sold. Well, the wine sold really well. My wife and I, we own this place 100%, but we bought the property. The way, I don't know how much you've seen of the property as far as going to see it, but the basic footprint was here. But in the last 2.5 years, I really feel my wife and I have our fingerprints on everything. We're involved in every aspect of the winery. I always make the joke, the definition of insanity is thinking you bought a winery and you really bought a restaurant and had never worked in a restaurant business.
Now, you ship your wines pretty much throughout the U.S.?
Throughout the United States, right now our big goal is to get into New York. It's really tough to get into New York. We've been trying for over a year now to be able to ship there. It's a permitting issue. Basically, it's a tax issue, and it's just you would think that they want taxes right now, but we just can't get in New York. But there's 7 states that we cannot ship to, and it's for the same thing: is that you have to prepay the tax, and we just don't sell enough wine to justify it. New York, we do, and if we can ever figure it out, that we'll be in New York. But as of this moment, we're not in New York. But the other 43 states we can ship to.
How about the Dominican Republic? Do you ship
the Dominican Republic we absolutely ship to. In fact, my father has a big place in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So that means you're actually international.
We are international, 100%. Now we ship to the Dominican Republic, and we're in some of the hotels down there. We're some of the private restaurants down there, and there's some. I don't know how much you know about the Dominican Republic, but there's some really nice high-end private villas, and several of them where they're house wine.
Excellent. What is your favorite of all the wines that you make?
I'm a dry wine drinker, so Delightfully Dry is my favorite. My wife is also a dry wine drinker, and she likes our oak barrel. Our Delightfully Dry, which is our dry wine, is about $20 a bottle. The oak barrel I have about 2.5 times the material cost and at least 2 times in the manufacture of it. So I always make the joke that if you like dry wine and you might like our oak barrel better than our Delightfully Dry, you better like it twice as much because it's over twice as expensive. And then we also have a phenomenal cork. That is a fortified wine. That's actually, we sent it out to California and won a silver medal at the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition last year. That is fortified with blueberry wine that I have made from our, fortified with blueberry brandy that we have made from our blueberry wine. So it's roughly 19% alcohol by volume. It's phenomenal.
What would be the difference between a standard grape wine and your blueberry wine?
As far as the manufacturing or just the overall difference is, I mean, it's all about taste. I'm a big believer, like, again, we make 8 wines, 4 of them I don't like at all. One of the ones I don't like won a double gold at the Florida State Wine Competition, so, you know, who knows? It's just sweet. I'm not a sweet wine drinker. If you're a Moscato guy, you would love our Sensation Sweet. We have a chocolate I was going to get rid of. It's too sweet for me. People love it. We sell it by the case more than any other wine. I was telling a story where I was going to get rid of it. I had a guy in here from Poland. He was in a Polish biker gang with the leathers and the whole thing. And I told him I was going to get rid of the wine. And the end of the story is, but we sell it by the case more than any other wine. And before I got to that part, he looks at me and goes, "You're going to get rid of the chocolate?" And I went, "No, no, no." He goes, "Good. I don't have to cut you." So we're keeping the chocolate.
Not bad at all. So you market yours as a healthier wine?
We do. There's actually a University of Florida study that blueberry wine, Florida blueberry wine specifically, if you Google the health benefits of blueberry wine, the University of Florida study will come up, uf.edu. And it basically says that on an antioxidant basis, calcium, manganese, potassium, I always say it wrong, but resveratrol, all the things that are really good for us, blueberry wine has more of that than 100% of white wine, 80% of the red wines, and equal to the remaining 20%. So, you know, I would say, like, you know, it's like I'm at the gym every day.
Very good. So, how would you recommend people coming to this area find you? What's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Our website is winesofflorida.com. We're also on Facebook, Whispering Oaks Winery. You can email me directly, Darryl, D-A-R-R-Y-L, at winesofflorida.com. Wine is plural, W-I-N-E-S. We're 3 miles from the Interstate 75. Our exit number is 329. So if you're on your way from anywhere north of the Florida line, heading towards Disney, you got to drive right past me and you're 3 miles off the thing. And if you happen to have a Tesla, I have 8 Tesla charging stations out there.
That's fantastic. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I really appreciate you guys coming. I mean, this was kind of a really interesting thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as we do.
We've had an absolute blast.
We have 60 acres of property here. We're social distancing as best we can. And if you're here from March to June, we do a phenomenal U-pick, blueberry U-pick. We usually, this year, because the world went upside down, we didn't do it, but normally we have live music during the blueberry picking, you know, beer and wine, and just trying to make it a really casual thing. I mean, the one thing I will say is we are a farm first, a winery second, a restaurant third, and a bunch of other things, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But we are a farm and we embrace it. So if you guys are in the area and you want to come have a farm experience, come hang out and just have a wonderful time. Oh, and we have live music Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday day.
Very cool. Darryl, thank you very much for your time.
Chris, thank you so much.
You bet.
All right.
We talked a little about the previous trip I made here to get some B-roll for both of the shows.
We need content.
He came out the other day and filmed them doing all the modeling.
Oh yeah. Oh, how was that? Because
It was a blast. They were a lot of fun. Yeah. Hard workers, a whole lot of fun talking to everybody while I was doing it.
Good.
Except your vintner.
Yeah.
He had a hard time looking at the camera, so there's not much of that I could use. He was just talking straight to me.
You know, the guy's brilliant. He definitely has.
Oh yeah.
And when we first took over, because he was here already, he had such a heart. He would just get balled up.
Oh wow.
And I know the previous owner used to yell at him. And my wife is the director of was the director of a large automotive group. And she's a science geek and she's just a brilliant person. And when I met him, I'm like, listen, man, I'm rough around the edges, but I'm telling you, you're going to love my wife. You two will get along great. And they do, and it's great. And he like, now, like, around us, he's like completely 180 degrees different than he was 2 years ago.
Very cool.
Really just like comfortable in his own skin. So where are you guys heading next?
We're going to be here for another week and a half, and then we're going to go down to, or go over to the Gulf Coast and see the manatees.
Oh,
and then we're going to start working our way
Oh, so you're
north
going to go over like the...
to
It
Sisters,
was just a funny story I was going to tell you. But, yeah, I'll tell you later.
Three Sisters or something
Yeah,
like that.
Three Sisters is where the manatees are.
Right.
It's
Crystal Springs.
Crystal
or
River.
something. Crystal River.
But you,
that's
are
it.
you guys staying over there?
We'll stay there for 2 weeks.
You
It's
gonna stay at Encore?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad has a RV in there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
cool.
he keep it's just like that's what he calls his river house.
Ah,
Right,
and then-
like so when you're there at Encore, you're gonna pull in. There's like ice cream store. And it's a nice park.
He gave us some suggestions about other nearby experiences that would be worth our while, including Rainbow Springs State Park and an old Johnny Weissmuller set not far away at Silver Springs, Wakula Springs. For the younger crowd, that would be the original Tarzan movies, at least the more classic ones.
It's gorgeous.
That's what we're looking for.
It's definitely worth the trip. And then I gotta tell you, when you're coming back, instead of coming back on 44, go up 19 and hit 200, and then go hit the Rainbow River. That is one of the main. Well, that's where Tarzan movies. There's Silver
Oh, no
Springs.
kidding?
Well, Silver Springs is where Johnny Weissmuller was. Yeah. And that's down here. But then going that way, it's even prettier than Silver Springs. I mean, it's a big, wide river. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of gallons of crystal clear water gets pumped through there every day. But it is definitely something that you're like, wow, I can't believe this is real.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, it's worth the trip. Those two things I would hit.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool. $2,000 a week to business.
Yeah.
Just people showing up and they just buy cases and cases to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
It's just we have lists here. It's the have to do list, the needs to do list, the want to do list, and the wish list.
Yeah.
The harvest list is somewhere in the want to, need to. The wish list, who knows, we'll get to that one.
And it depends. Sometimes you get people, that not stay and, see what you do and
Oh, absolutely.
I see that.
Yeah, they're just looking for a place to. We have people stay here, and we do have people that have RVs and they stay the night. Similar. I just don't want to promote it until I have the infrastructure. And I mean, we live on the property, so I mean, I have big dogs and a lot of shotguns, so I'll be all right. But I prefer not to use the dogs or the shotguns. I don't know what to do, Chris. You make me. I thought you were gonna say, you know what you should do? Stop being such a ham.
We had a wonderful time here and will love to come back again. This is definitely a must-do, and we think you'd really enjoy the experience. We can't thank Darryl and Erinn enough for the wonderful hospitality they show all their patrons. We wish them well and hope to see them again soon. If you're looking for a unique and awesome experience, this is the place to be. Just our humble opinion. Until next week, Travel safe.